Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Stephen Hawking's proclivities? Answer: yes, he liked watching undressed midgets solve complex equations on a too high up chalkboard. I thought Stephen Hawking was an astrophysicist in a wheelchair. It turns out he's actually the funniest human being ever.
That's a lot of nuts!
So the Jeffrey Epstein files finally dropped. At least some of them, but even the some of them that's dropped is 900 pages, and I haven't read a single one of them. Why bother? When people are making so many memes of the people who are on the list already, it's like the research is done for me. I hope. There are plenty of names that have already been dropped in the first 900 pages of this monologue, conversation, black book, whatever it is that they've got. You've got your usual suspects, you've got your Joe Bidens, your Bill Clintons, Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, Oprah Winfrey, the yellow M&M. He'll be on there, trust me. But the only one that anybody has been paying attention to, and arguably for good reason, is Stephen Hawking. A, because he's like a scientific dude who you wouldn't expect to be that dark and fucked up, I guess. But more importantly, the guy can't move his legs or arms. How'd you even get to that island? Suffice to say, the idea of an astrophysicist in a wheelchair who's a quadriplegic who has to speak through a robot text-to-speech system because he can't move any part of his body, showing up at Jeffrey Epstein's island in one way or another is the funniest thing to happen this year. I know it's been less than a week, but it's basically Iron Chef on Twitter right now. Everybody's got the ingredients. You got a gif of a dude in a wheelchair, a dude getting out of a wheelchair. Even better, just stick Stephen Hawking in the captions and boom, you've got a meme and thousands of likes. Full disclosure, to my knowledge, Stephen Hawking was named in this document that was dropped. It's like a combination of Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book as well as some conversations and interviews they had with some of the people on the island, naming the various very famous individuals that they recalled visiting Jeffrey Epstein's island. But this particular meme that has gone giga-viral about Stephen Hawking finding some sick pleasure in watching midgets try to reach up to a too high up chalkboard and solve complicated math equations is not real. This specific instance, to my knowledge, is not real. But that's kind of the issue with dropping a 900-page document, is when it comes to something like Twitter, nobody's spending the time to read all that. Everybody's just taking the word of somebody else. Nobody's particularly surprised when they see actual names dropped, like Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. But Stephen Hawking being on there is the thing that caught everybody off guard. Not necessarily for no reason, because people have been ragging on Stephen Hawking in most, like, big media pictures for a while now.
Oh, keep going, baby. You are doing great. Yes, 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 come to Papa. Oh, prepare your anus. Yes, yes, yes.
You guys think Jeffrey Epstein already had ramps on his private island to get into the massage parlors? Or do you think they had to custom make some? Or do you think they were carrying Stephen Hawking up the stairs? Like they weren't planning on it, but they were like, he's a paying customer, get him up there.
I knew this day would come, so here is my statement. Y'all thought the only holes I was into were black holes? Nah son, since day one, I have been about that life. Getting bad bitches is my hobby. No wheelchair can keep a nigga like me back. I straight laid pipe on that island. So fucking what? I just want everyone to know I am not sorry at all. Suck my motherfucking crippled dick. Y'all are just jealous you weren't invited.
The jokes that you see about Stephen Hawking being a sex fiend in one way or another, from that Filthy Frank bit or from that clip on Family Guy, doesn't have anything to do with the Epstein files. In fact, they come from the fact that back in 2008, he divorced his then wife because he was cheating on her with her nurse. Now, you might be thinking, how does somebody with such a high intelligence, massively, incredibly high IQ, with a thorough understanding of astrophysics and the world around him, still succumb to his most basic human urges? I'm thinking, that dude still has a working dick? Apparently somebody asked Stephen Hawking if his dick still work, and he responded, quote, "Only my voluntary muscles are affected by this disease. The involuntary ones are still very much active." Gross. According to what I can tell is an actual screenshot from the documents, while he wasn't requesting underage little people to try and solve math equations, he did officially participate, as far as the documents say, in an underage orgy. So, as much as it feels like we're making fun of a dead, crippled scientist, PDF files are fair game in my opinion, but I still have so many questions. Like, I understand somebody like Bill Clinton, former US president. He probably still has like secret police around him making sure that he's, not getting into trouble or whatever. He can disappear from the public eye and do whatever he wants to, and it can be kept under wraps for the sake of national security. But Stephen Hawking's? I don't even think he's rich. How did he get onto the how are his wheelchairs not getting stuck in the sand on the island? How? I found this video from 12 years ago on YouTube, and where the late great, maybe we should stop calling him great, Stephen Hawking threw a party for time travelers. He threw a party, had a bunch of food, invited nobody, and then after the party was over, sent out invitations to let everybody know that, hey, I had a party last week, and if you're a time traveler, please come visit, which is a very sciencey, nerd-ass thing to do, and it makes you wonder, if nobody showed up, which they didn't, does that mean time travel will never be invented in the future? Because if it was, surely the first thing you would do is go back in time and hang out with Stephen Hawking as a time traveler. But maybe being in the future meant they already know what we're just learning now, and they didn't want to hang out with a creep. Or maybe they haven't invented time travel.
You have an incredible astronomy career ahead of you.
If The Simpsons made a joke about Bill Clinton or Michael Jackson or Donald Trump being on the Epstein logs, everybody would be like, yeah, so what? It's low-hanging fruit. Anybody could have guessed that, and it's true. But Stephen Hawking's? How in God's name do they get it right every single time? I can't get over the exact, the fact that the thing that they said was fake was the thing that went viral. The fact that they had to, the idea of Stephen Hawking participating in an underage orgy on Jeffrey Epstein's island is already about as ridiculous as it gets. First of all, I feel like we're being very generous with the term participating here. The dude can't move, but let's put that to the side. But that wasn't enough. Somebody had to go and, let's be fair, it's text and highlighted text. It didn't take that much photoshopping, but decided to make it this weird, almost not sexual, but arguably worse because of that scenario where he's getting pleasure from watching short people try to reach up to a chalkboard. That already in itself is just comedy. It's not even perversion. You're just weird at that point. But try to solve math equation like that. That's just I'm surprised anybody's falling for it, because that's just too stupid to be real. There are a lot of jokes going around about the heat being taken off of living powerful individuals like Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and everybody seems to be focusing on the dead Stephen Hawking because of the ridiculousness of the situation. And I feel like that's kind of an issue with the way that they're going about. These documents should have come out forever ago, right? Ricky Gervais has already done an entire stand-up special on Jeffrey Epstein's thing at the Golden Globes, and that was years ago. The fact that we're just now getting the names and they're all being sort of dumped all at once is kind of dispersing the outrage that should exist. It's like the Panama Papers. You remember when there were thousands of celebrities that were revealed to be, hiding money in offshore accounts illegally, and then nothing basically happened because when there's 1,000 people to get mad at, it's hard to pinpoint any one individual. It seems like the same situation. Shouldn't people be going to jail? Shouldn't this be something we're not necessarily laughing at? This feels like a big deal, and instead it's just like a Twitter meme.
I don't need that anymore.
There's this video of this individual trying to apply for parole, and when the judge denies it, he dives over the courtroom desk like he's fucking Mario diving into a painting. It's got nothing to do with the Jeffrey Epstein, Stephen Hawking situation. The guy's not even in a wheelchair, but despite that, it's so comical and so ill-timed that it's still being captioned Stephen Hawking's when he sees the midgets at Jeffrey Epstein's house. I'm running out of good jokes to try and tie together the thousands of clips I have about the situation, so Stephen Hawking, more like Stephen Cock, works, surprisingly. Can you believe that Jeffrey Epstein's private island was just south of the US Virgin Islands? Like the gods of comedy just came together and went, hey, let's make the worst joke ever? That'd be like learning that Bill Cosby's favorite Pokemon is Jigglypuff. Like, it feels like too many stars are aligning. Whatever, speaking of stars aligning, stay away from that island. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more of it. Thank you to the patrons scrolling in the back, and I'll catch you guys later this week probably, maybe, who knows. Peace!